All right, another direct strike game. That last one, the last video that you saw, that was an absolute beast of a game. Most direct strike does not last that long. We're back to playing 3v3 commanders. I am randoming, so who knows who I'll get. That'll be exciting. And I think that's the best part, again, because there are... Oh, I don't even know. At this point, I think every commander except Mengsk is in right now, and Zeratul. And I don't think Zeratul will ever be put in, just because he doesn't translate well to direct strike. I think that was just saying his units and compositions just didn't translate to the direct strike composition, the format. So Tia just didn't put them in. But otherwise, I think they're all in there through Stetman, which is cool. Now I'm rethinking it. I'm pretty sure they're all in there. Besides Zeratul. Who we get? Stetman's an interesting one. So we're in the middle, so I'm going to go ahead and throw down my gas. Again, it's really hard to punish someone for an early gas like that. I am going to... How much is the Baneling? Again, the earlier we can snag tier 2, that means we can start getting tier 2 units before the second wave starts. And as long as I can put down a Baneling before my timer is up, I'll put it off to the side here. Mostly because if it can get away with not engaging the person on my side of the field, it's mostly because I want to see who I'm facing before I commit to anything. So, like, right now, I like the placement of these roaches. So it looks like I'm facing... Who has 2 cannons? Or 3. I think I'm facing Artanis again. Like the last one. So I suppose let's see what he's going to do. But Baneling's probably going to be a pretty good choice. Now, the thing with the Banelings, though, is you want to spread them out a little bit. You want to spread them out a little bit. Also, I need to put down my defense. There we go. I saw that he had some Zealots out already, so again, that's why I think Banelings are going to be good. Gary, also a good addition, as usual, though Gary can get killed very easily by Phoenix. The difference, though, is that Phoenix will get killed by Gary as well, just because of the AoE orb that he's got. So I think what I'll do is throw down an early Gary. Maybe not the smartest choice. Gary's expensive, and upgrading him to Super Gary's even more expensive. So kind of hard to say if that's worth it or not. We just have to see what this. We have to see what this this Artanis is going to do, and it looks like it's really just Zealots. So again, we'll see if Gary can handle this, and I'm just going to keep spreading out my Banelings. Gary makes it. I should probably turn off Egorb so that I can use it properly against stuff that I want to use it on. Okay, we've got another Stetman as well. Get him, Stetman! Well, I got the bunker. Alright, that's fine. So we're winning our wave mostly. I need more Banelings. Lurkers might be a good choice as well. It really just depends on what the Artanis is doing. He might be going for a... He may very well be going for just a Tempest Rush. Alright, Dust Wings from Raynor, that's pretty typical. If he goes Tempest, we have some of the best anti-air in the game with Hydralisks, so I'm not too concerned about that. Let's change our configuration to Juice so that we can get more Egonergy on these guys. And just like that, I can get an Overseer too, but... I like how my ally's pinging the Banshee as if it's my problem. I'm like, dude, I got my Banelings, they're rolling in there. That's all I need. Again, I'm gonna anticipate Tempests, because if he's only making Zealots, that's relatively cheap, and I think he might be waiting to see what I'm doing as well. He might be he might be waiting to see if I'm gonna commit to Ultralisks before anything else. Now, Corruptors would be really good against the Banshees, though I'm more concerned about... Now, I'll get an Overseer. I could get Super Gary as well. What this Artanis could be doing is Archons. Archons just utterly obliterate Stetman, and yep, there they are. All right, so I got to think about what I want to do differently here. I think we just have to do more banelings, unfortunately. Let's go second extractor and go to tier 3 so that we can get ultralisks now. And then just start adding more and more banelings against. The thing is, like, going ultralisks, again, they lose all their egonergy because of the feedback. So you want a plethora of small units that can deal with getting feedbacked, and then have your heavier units come in the back. So I think upgrading here, even Mecha Battle Carrier Lords could be okay too. I got to see what the wave before me might be leaking, and it's Rainer, so Mecha Battle Carrier Lords would not be smart, I don't think. So the reason that you want to make sure you're spreading your banelings out. Where are these? Where are these Zerglings coming from? Is that a Gary thing? I think. Oh, it's because he recycles the banelings. Okay. Well, I'm gonna continue banelings. I'm winning my wave. He's got Super Gary now, but who cares? I'll let my teammate deal with that. That's the wave after. I'm not as concerned with that. So again, they can only feedback so much, and they're gonna probably prioritize. They're gonna prioritize feedback. Probably more than. There you go. Devour's gonna absolutely clean this up. They're gonna prioritize feedbacking more than they're gonna prioritize. Storming, even though storming would probably work better, and also they're dealing with the leftovers from Abathur. Now, the reason that you want to spread your banelings out, and frankly, I don't even think I'm spread out enough, is because when your banelings jump, they actually are triggered to detonate upon leaping. So what that means is, when they're leaping in, move these back a little bit. They're already going to explode. So if they're leaping into a unit that's already been killed, it's wasted. Now, obviously, we're winning, so I'm going to keep this up, and then I can always transition into Ultralisks later. But I want to make sure I put those Ultralisks in the back, I think, so that they aren't the ones getting feedbacked. It's hard to say. I think I can start getting Ultralisks soon. And we've been winning the middle for quite some time, so I'm actually going to gas. It's a little early for that, and it's actually pretty aggressive for that. But, again, we're winning pretty handily. I really appreciate him eating the... Thank you for eating the feedbacks. Okay, and then Gary can clean up the remainders of those waves, and then I can give him a... okay, I gotta turn that off. I'm gonna turn that off autocast, because that was not how I wanted that to be used. Getting Super Gary now might be a pretty good choice as well. There's a lot of things to do here. I'm just gonna upgrade my Baneling attack damage versus structure 96. We just gotta get on top of that cannon, turret, bunker, what have you. I am gonna have to start worrying about leaks from Banshees, I think. That is a concern of mine. Though I think with these Devourers, I don't think that'll really ever be an issue. He's going to need more Devourers eventually, but... him going Mass Queens was actually a godsend. Like, what a man. Thank you, Overlord. Like, that's some, like, God-tier level strats, thinking about that. I'm going to save the E-Gorb so that I can use it against incoming others. Okay, fine. Do it now. See, if I can get rid of that early Stepman incoming attack, that would be so good. Okay, I'm going to get some Ultralisks now. Start kind of laying them down towards the back. These are very expensive. What I really want is the Electrostatic Surprise. We actually can use Electrostatic Surprise to kill... No, that's not what I wanted. I can't refund it now. But the whole idea is it's Mecha Mooch. You can actually kill air units just by Mecha Mooching them to death, which would be quite fun. Okay, and we want to pay attention to our own wave every time now, because I got to use E-Gorb. And Abathur, I mean, Abathur is definitely, is just absolutely killing it. Okay, and then that gets cleaned up. And then my Ultralisk might eat the extra... I think my Ultralisk is going to eat the extra Baneling hits. I may have gone a little overboard with Banelings here, because we were already winning. But I think it's fine. Let's get some more. We've got all the Ultralisk upgrades and the Baneling upgrades. I was very aggressive with gas, but we've owned the middle pretty much the entire time, which makes a huge difference. Probably didn't need to spend that money, but it's fine. Any extra damage that Alarak can do there, it's fine with me. I think we're all winning our waves, which is why we're slowly pushing into the bunker already. Yeah, you know, I think I don't want Abathur to change his... I don't want Abathur to really change anything. Because he's already cleaning this stuff up quite effectively. There we go. That's what needed to happen. That was a pretty solid Egorb right there. Getting Super Gary might be a good choice. He is getting Immortals now, but we already have enough Ultralisks that we should be able to stay on top of that. Getting a couple Lurkers really couldn't hurt either. We're going to start needing some anti-air eventually. Oh yeah, Purifier Tempest. Thank God. Give me that passive XP. Ah, okay, that was shitty timing on the static defense, but we should get the bunker now, which is going to give us a solid mineral bounty. So I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade my Mecha Ground Plating to the last level. And because he's able to feedback, I mean, the reason that I'm not too concerned about the feedback is because I have enough Banelings in there to eat them. Now we got our Ultralisks in there. I think it's a good idea to set your Ultralisks to automatically, or to manually. You want to manually burrow charge them, but in this specific case, it's fine. All right, now it seems like we probably should be countering air units, but that's exactly what they want us to do. I would much rather just keep it up with the Ultralisks, unless... Oh no, I mean, Alarak's killing his own wave. We have to see how Yellow does with the Hyperion. If Yellow can't handle the Hyperion, then I do need to start making some Hydralisks. Though more Ultralisks is clearly working.
Not enough minerals.
So it's really just determining... Yeah, okay, now the Hyperion's here, and I have no anti-air, so this is... I am going to definitely need... Hydralisks coming up next. So let's actually sell this, because he didn't spawn yet, I get a full refund. So Hydralisks have, like, a massive range. So let's lay him down back here and make sure that we get the Erudition? I don't know. Let's get that, and then the 100 +3 range air units. I don't see why you'd ever pay for extra movement speed on Hydralisks, but that should help. And again, that's so that I can clean up semi-leaks. Upgrading Gary could also be okay, because they don't have much anti-air. 2 Hyperions. Yeah, Hydralisks will be able to handle this, but I'll need a lot of them. And I don't like having to go only Hydralisks now, even though I've been winning my wave pretty effectively. I gotta stay on juice config so that I can kill Hyperion more effectively. The problem is now my Hydralisks can get stormed and they're not that effective v ground, so that Hyperion was almost the perfect thing that they needed to do. And it's kind of like I need to make Hydralisks, but just the right amount of them without going too overboard, and then go back to Ultralisks. And maybe not even Ultralisks, probably just throwing some Zerglings in there too. Okay, that's what we needed, and yeah, I think now, again, the key is, like, let's not go overboard with Hydralisks. Let's Let's rethink what we want to do at this point. And I think the answer actually is Zerglings. And we need to get their upgrades, otherwise they're not particularly useful. And the Zerglings are mostly to eat feedbacks, trigger storms, and try to kill immortals. And just like that, we're back in it. I could use Burrow Charge to stun the immortals, but as you can see, now that we've got a super stack, should be in good shape. Again, I'm building kind of down the sides here because I want these units to try to flank inwards.
Not enough minerals.
Stepman Zergling's pretty... Yeah, sure. You know what? Get the 20... It's 25 minerals. I can afford that. And this might just be the push we needed. I think because we all reacted properly to the Hyperion, but we didn't overreact. Because overreacting to the Hyperion is what leads to death. Perfect. That's a pretty good one. That was, what, 15 minutes? I suppose I'll do one more. Let's check our damage. I always like to compare myself to see as long as I was able to keep up with my team, which I did. So we'll hit victory, and I'll come back when the next game is, I guess, past the loading screen. Okay, here we go. We're Dahaka this time, and I'm in first slot, so I'm going to drop Dahaka right away so that we can take mid right away. Granted, it's really not that hard to kill Dehaka this early. Okay, let's go. Intimidating Roar and Devour. I usually will take Devour off cooldown for later, but I won't be too concerned about that. Let's see who we're up against. Dahaka is quite strong later, but he can be a little tricky. All right, we're against Nova. Depending on what Nova's going to do... Well, she's just going to snipe me again and kill me. Impalers can be very good against her. It's really hard to say. I think... again, it really depends on what Nova's doing. We can't... She can counter us quite effectively, so we kind of have to counter her instead. One thing to do with Dahaka is to throw down these worms.
We require more minerals.
So we have 2 Novas. And she made a Marine. So the reason you want to get these Primal Worms is because then you can use Deep Tunnel. I got a level. Okay, and I want to get my last worm. And this seems... It might seem a little superfluous. And a Zagara. Interesting. Okay. So, Creeper hosts would be really good, but it takes a while to get to them. So here's what we want to do. Okay, Marauders. So now we win our wave. Perfect. So I see a Marauder there, and I saw Marine from the other wave. So to me, that means probably Impalers are what I'm going to want to do. They are expensive, so we probably want to mix in some Ravagers or whatever they're called. Ravasars. So even if these die, you still get the deep tunnel charges, and they refresh every time you spawn. So we should be good against our specific wave just with the worms, while we get up to Impalers and then probably Ravasars. Okay, and then Han and Horner making Deimos Vikings versus ground are just extremely strong. Like, they're good versus clumped up air as well, but I love their ground attack. It's super solid. Alright, I'm not going to spawn my deep tunnel. I think he got a level. Whoops. Let me just do this. That should help kill Nova. These are really strong early, and then eventually they drop off, but it never hurts to get them. Okay, so like I said, I think I'm going to get Impalers. That's going to be a little hard for... As long as we get a decently strong front line, that's going to be kind of hard for Nova to counter directly. Let's move him back, and then he's got another level. I think we just go Devour again. And this has been an okay start. An okay start as Dahaka. The problem is, again, we have to see how our teammates leak and how it goes. Deimos Vikings are good. I don't like my odds late game versus versus Nova, but we'll see how it goes. Impalers are just very good against single targets. So what Nova could do, now that she sees me making Impalers, is she could make Banshees. She could make Liberators. And it seems like this Nova is not doing anything right now, which to me means she's probably teching and possibly going Liberators. So I don't want to make too many Impalers on the chance that that's what's happening. So just something to keep in mind there, I suppose. Which means I'm probably going to want to switch to Mutalisks, or be ready to switch to Mutalisks when the time is right. And I hate that because, again, I feel like I have to react to Nova rather than the other way around, because she can counter me so easily, whereas to counter her, I have to commit like 100%. Mutalisks are going to get destroyed by Zagara, though, so it's I'm not happy with my options, I guess is my point. I think I still have enough to win whatever she's doing. And I don't need to get to final tier either. Yeah, it is Liberators. Okay, that's what I thought. So we're going to make Mutalisks. The Mutalisks do extra damage via air. Jay Barino's prediction comes true. I think Dahaka ate the... Yeah, it's true. Dahaka ate the Liberator. So that's going to work just fine. And he gets a big damage boost for that, too. Let's go Roar. Okay, so I think I've made the right choice. And we want... well, we want both of these upgrades, really, so let's get them both. So Impalers and Mutalisks seems like it's going to be the name of the game, which is weird, but it should work. And let's turn him off Devour so that I can manually control him every time to do that. I might just want to manually control everything that he does. Okay, so the Liberators will kill Dahaka very quickly, so unfortunately Dahaka's just going to get boned, but that's okay. Thank you to my teammate who did that. Let's use our deep tunnel to help our allies. Okay, I think again we did the right thing, and if they're gonna commit to Liberators, I'll get more Mutalisks. Though again, they might tech switch now because they might realize it's the wrong thing to do. I don't know.
We require more
and then we can start getting upgrades, which are very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. What did we get here? Hardened Carapace is good. So I might want to get some frontline stuff. Maybe just like Zerglings. In order to absorb some of this heat at the beginning. And also anything that my ally can do to soften her up is great, obviously. And then we have to make sure that we are eating... interesting that he's still committed to Liberators, even though the Mutalisks almost directly counter them. The problem is at a certain point, the Mutalisks will start clumping up, and Liberators will win against them. So I think I need. I just need some Zerglings. It's a little odd. I mean, Zerglings is Dahaka, not really the most thrilling of choices, but. Let's move him back a little bit. And the whole reason that these exist are to absorb Liberator shots, and that's it. And I'm going to need more Mutalisks eventually. Okay, so we have a lot to do. We want to make sure that we're eating Liberators, and we have to make sure that we're using our deep tunnels. Deimos Vikings taking care of a lot of that stuff is really solid. So let's do this, and then eat... Wow, I mean, my ally just absolutely roasted a lot of this stuff. Okay, yeah, so I'd say we've got a really, really solid start here as Dehaka. It's going to get harder, but I'm quite happy with it. I could also get some Hydralisks that they're just going to get... Keep in mind, they're just going to get one shot by Liberators. So if we want to win against Liberators, we have to make Mutalisks.
We require more minerals.
I like these ones with evolved adrenal glands. Super, super good. All right, I'm going to throw down one more Mutalisk. Actually, you know what? We're winning. I'm going to gas. I could grab Primal Carapace as well. You can see how good these Deimos Vikings versus ground are just so good. They are just so good. Now, he's still kind of losing his way, but it's all right. It'll get better. Oh, trying to throw these down, and then we eat one of these. And we're going to have to try to get rid of these frontliners before... So we're probably going to want even more Impalers, because we have to get rid of the frontliners quickly. Ravissars could do a good job at that, because they are great versus armored units. So let's do that. Get enough of them. Basically, we want to plow through those Goliaths to allow our Mutalisks to be able to get in there. And get both of the upgrades. You're being recorded. Don't mess it up. Alright, eat one of these. And my Primal Worms, there's nothing for them to even attack at this point. Alright, let's go total kills. I think my teammates and I played this just right. Okay, and then Dahaka's getting his level. I mean, as much as I want the fire, I don't think it's that useful against Nova. Be better against Zagara. Primal Guardians might be a good transition into this, or out of this, rather. Again, these are really cheap, and if the Nova doesn't make Hellbats, then this is just really good really good cannon fodder that'll allow my Impalers and my Ravissars to get a lot of really good damage in. Those Deimos Vikings, I told you! Yeah, eat something. And then I guess give them the worms. So, yeah, my Mutalisks are going to get utterly torn up by this yellow Nova, but that's alright, because we've got the Ravissars in the back, and the Impalers also just dealing heavy, heavy damage. And our Mutalisks come back to life, which doesn't hurt, but Nova Marines absolutely tear through Mutalisks. It's just the way it is. Again, we're really far ahead, so I can just gas again. When you're ahead, we get more ahead. Keep in mind, that's a lot of money that we can't put into more units, but we're so far ahead that it's going to take several waves of them to be able to push back, and these Deimos Vikings can handle just such a huge amount of punishment. Seems like he's pretty much given up on the Liberators. Probably smart, and I think I just need more Ravissars, because those are pretty cost-effective to get rid of Goliaths. You might as well eat something. I should consider what we should do to start countering this wave, which might be Swarm Hosts. Probably. I mean, Creeper Hosts are always good, but I don't necessarily want to go tier... I mean, again, it's my ally's wave, and he seems to be doing pretty much fine, so... Let's see. Let's get another Impaler. I think those are doing good work for us. And then I might go tier 3 and transition into Guardians. Again, you don't need that many Mutalisks to deal with Liberators, and we can eat one of them. As long as we're properly controlling Dahaka. He is. He's making more Liberators. And most of them are going to die to Deimos Vikings anyway, so... I don't need more Mutalisks. I think that would be a mistake. We're getting carried by this Han and Horner. The matchup, Han and Horner versus Zagara, it's just so heavily... There's nothing Zagara can do. And that's the thing with some of these commander matchups. There's so many matchups, it's kind of hard for it to really be balanced properly. So... This is what happens sometimes. What abilities am I taking on Dahaka? What did I take? Just Devour. And Mad Yell. That's what he is. He gets mad. So, I'm not sure. Yeah, again, I'm surprised they're doing this well against Nova as well, but it's just a really, really strong situation here. Let's get Mad Yell again. Just eat something. Eat something, I said. And our Rabisars and Impalers are doing great from the back line. These Impalers may not look like they're getting a lot of kills, but we are against Nova, so she just doesn't have that many units. It's a good tip. That is probably the best thing to eat if you're going to eat. We get a defensive primal big boy worm. Here, you move. Here, I just want my greater primal worm. Yeah, I mean, Teal is utterly carrying us with the amount that he's able to slam through these waves, but it's not really just Zagara's fault. Zagara only has very particular unit compositions, and there's really not much she can do against these Deimos Vikings. Maybe Aberrations, but I think the idea is that Aberrations aren't as cost-effective. So I could go Creeper Hosts now. I think I'm going to go Guardians. Got tons of money, so let's get their upgrades as well. 600 for Primal Attacks level 3 is just absurd to me. Let's get our next one out. Okay, Dahaka leveling up. I'm going to grab Primal Regeneration is fine. I could move him to the back, because he does get focused down really quick. I'm honestly not sure what just got through. I was looking at my phone for a brief moment because it's Direct Strike and I don't have to focus that much. It might have been Scourge. I think this is where the Guardians will start to shine a little bit because they do have that exploding shot. So that should help thin out the infantry. You know, we need some more frontline support. I mean, even Igniters could be okay, but again, it's really a question of cost effectiveness. Like, yes, Igniters would counter the Marines, but are they cost effective to do so? Because there are Marauders in there as well. And see, Zagara, it's just, I feel bad. There's not much. There's just not much that they can do. It's just so sad. And see, that's another right there where he's saying it's not worth it. Which something to keep in mind is again, like, yes, they're good units, and they may counter something the enemy has, but are they cost-effective in doing so? It's something to keep in mind. Okay, Dahaka's looking good. You know, I think I do want to get fire on him when we have a chance. I don't think I have a level on him. It's going to be a while for a next level. I could just get an Overseer. Do I have... No, you don't have Overseers. I just have the Worms. This guy really wants to teach me some tips and tricks. Clearly, whatever we're doing is working. This should push through the wave. I mean, again, just these... Deimos Vikings don't win against literally every composition, but they win so hard against Zagara that it allowed us to push so quickly through the rest of them. I didn't even get the leap. Should have gotten the leap. Give me my worms! Okay, and honestly, stacking more Ravissars really couldn't hurt either, though there are siege tanks in the back. Creeper hosts are fun. Actually, would be pretty good against Zagara here with the Corruptors, but probably not necessary. We still don't have a point. I'm not going to get that detection level on Dahaka because I have the worms. Just trying to think what the best way to finish this would be. And it would probably just be just more Guardians. Even though there are a lot of Goliaths, we have enough ground support with the Deimos Vikings that the Goliaths don't start hitting the... We're going to win probably in 1 or 2 waves anyway, so we'll see how it goes. Can't quite get the tanks. It was smart of him to finally start building tanks. Tyrannosaur. The Nova Marauders are very cost efficient against ground armored stuff, so that's why I'm not making them. I'm going to do Flame Breath, actually, besides Detection. I think that's way more worth it in this particular instance. Yikes. Okay, so I think I have to deal with the Scourge. But that's okay. We'll be fine. He's got those... He's got the missiles. They're pushing us back pretty good now, just because Zagara's... Well... We'll see how it goes. Let's grab one of the Liberators. Does she have a Raven? No, no Ravens. We have enough Mutalisks mostly to deal with the Liberators. We might actually have to make more. Might have to make some more Mutalisks now, just because the Liberators are going to start taking hold here. Ultralisk, Tyrannosaur, again, there's a lot of anti-armor here, so that's why it's not really that tempting to make them. Creeper hosts are pretty much always effective too, so let's go Creeper hosts.
We require more minerals.
I do have access to one last extractor. I really thought we were like about to win a couple waves ago, but they are making some good progress back. The thing is, it's all going to be how we offset the waves, because keep in mind they're utterly unable to have their Zagara deal with Han and Horner. The issue is if the Han and Horner wave gets offset and destroyed, then Zagara can blast through maybe my wave. I assume Zagara would probably be able to get through my wave. I don't have any anti-air. Yeah, no Ravens, so we just have to take what we can get. There we go, and our Guardians are able to push through the Goliaths now. And also the Creeper hosts are excellent at dealing with those clumped up groups of infantry, so I want it to be pretty, but I can't see where my other one is sitting under there. I haven't been using my worm things. And that should do it. Get him, Guardians! Don't kill my Guardians! No! No, Liberators, don't do it! We were about to win! And here come the Deimos Vikings. GG. That's a good one. Admittedly, again, the fact that we had a Han and Horner against the Zagara just outright counters her. Like, there's literally nothing the Zagara can do, I think, in that particular case. You just have to rely on your teammates. And their teammates did okay, but... yeah, exactly. Kingdom Cody said it right there. Zag just has no answer. The best you can do is try to mitigate damage with aberrations, but that's it. They just do so much piercing damage that it'll kill Banelings before it gets to them. It'll kill any Zerglings because they shoot through units. It just sucks for Zagara. So, again, you make aberrations and try to mitigate any damage you can, but otherwise you're going to get screwed. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. I'll stitch this together with the first game, and it's been a good direct strike series so far. 3 wins. What a thrill. See you later.